Hey, how you doing? This is Adam Post, publisher of more than 1,000 comic books and marketing expert covering the Bud Light controversy. Bud Light is freaking out and giving its beer away free. That's what they're doing, and they need to do this. They need to keep people drinking Bud Light, because if people refuse to drink Bud Light, even for free, it's the end of the brand and the end of a massive business. This was a brand that was generating $4.8 billion a year just in cans and bottle sales, not even counting sales on tap. That's a lot of money, but since the Dylan Mulvaney promotion, they've caused themselves a lot of trouble. Their sales are off by 25% at an absolute minimum, and that doesn't include all the rebates that they're doing. That doesn't include buying beer back from beer distributors as they've started to do, as their inventory of beer starts to expire and can no longer be sold. The actual sales drop has to be at least 50% to account for things like the free beer promotions, like buying back expired beer. When you sell beer and you can't sell it and you have to buy it back, that was sold? Of course it wasn't. It was taken back just like spoiled fruit and destroyed. The stock of Anheuser-Busch, the Bud Light company, is doing absolutely terrible. It's off by 10% since they announced their recent earnings just in May, but it's off by even more since before the Dylan Mulvaney promotion. March 31st, their company was worth $132 billion. Tonight, it's worth $116 billion. That's about $16 billion down. And within the last 52 weeks, their company has been as little as an $89, $90 billion company. So the stock was high when they were at $132 billion. That was without this controversy. What that means is when the rest of the world catches on and they start to realize, yeah, this company is not bouncing back, this brand is not bouncing back, it's going to at least fall back to that $90 billion value, which would be another $27 billion lost. Quite incredible. I've never seen anything like this before. Let's get into this first article. Before we do, please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications and give me a thumbs up. From the New York Post, Bud Light is pretty much giving beer away Memorial Day weekend after the Dylan Mulvaney fiasco. Bud Light is offering generous rebates for Memorial Day that in some cases amount to free beer as Anheuser-Busch continues its scramble to recover from the Dylan Mulvaney controversy. Now, through May 31st, Bud Light is advertising a summer rebate to make your Memorial Day weekend easier to enjoy, where customers who purchase a 15-pack or larger of Bud Light, that's the smallest I've seen, Budweiser, Budweiser Select, or Budweiser Select 55 will receive a $15 rebate. For reference, a 15-pack of Bud Light is listed for $12.99 on Target's website, the same price as a 15-pack of Budweiser. This is my local Target, $12.99. They're going to give you $15 back on that. The rebate will be paid via a digital prepaid card, according to a Bud Light site. The rebate offer comes as Bud Light sales have worsened for the 6th consecutive week on April 1st. 6 weeks in a row, it gets worse. At least 25% off on sales. Again, not including free beer that they're selling with rebates and not including expired beer that's been sold that has to be destroyed. The rebate offer comes as Bud Light sales have worsened for the 6th consecutive week since April 1st, when Dylan Mulvaney, the trans influencer, shared an Instagram post of a custom Bud Light can the Anheuser-Busch brand sent Dylan to celebrate 365 days of girlhood. Rebates have already been offered on Bud Light by individual vendors. These are independent distributors of Bud Light. There are 400, just about under 400 private independent Bud Light distributors in the United States looking to rid themselves of the embattled company. An unidentified beer vendor previously slapped a $20 rebate on a $19.98 can of 24 beers, and that was covered here by Ashley St. Clair. The Bud Light marketing team must still be all women if they think a coupon will get a man's attention. As a man, I will say, we generally do not use coupons. Sales of America's once most popular beer were down 24.6% for the week ended May 13th, which we just covered here. Compared to a year ago, slightly worse than the 23.6% dip they suffered a week earlier, according to Buck Williams Consulting and Nielsen IQ Research. They get their sales data directly from convenience stores, grocery stores, liquor stores, places that sell beer, and that's scanned by their barcodes. So it does not even go through Anheuser-Busch. Anheuser-Busch has no way of changing, hiding, or massaging those sales numbers. Bud Light also is revving up its patriotism by sponsoring a veterans group for the first time and has plans to appear in football and country music commercials. The aftermath of the ill-fated partnership is also affecting other brands at Anheuser-Busch's portfolio, including Budweiser and Michelob Ultra. That's almost unheard of, that people hate a brand so much that they will go out and figure out how to boycott other brands that the company produces. No one usually goes that far. People are going that far. That is how annoyed they are with Anheuser-Busch and Bud Light. Michelob Ultra, which was the number 3 beer with more than a $3.3 billion sales figure in 2022, saw a 2.9% dip in sales the week ending May 13th versus a year ago. And Budweiser, last year's number 7 beer, with more than $1.8 billion in sales, saw a staggering 9.7% drop in sales in each of the 2 most recent weeks. Sales of Busch Light were down 6.8% compared to 0.3% decline in the previous week. That's a pretty big acceleration. While Anheuser-Busch's Natural Light sales were down 2.8% in the week ended May 13th, compared to a 2.5% decline the previous week. So it just continues to get worse and worse and worse with no way of turning it around. The free beer thing, maybe that works. I'm sure there are plenty of people that will take some free beer, but it's not looking so good because people do not want to be seen with the brand. This is very interesting coming from NBC News. Quote, nobody imagined it would go on this long. Bud Light sales continue to plummet over the Mulvaney backlash. The controversy is nearing its 3rd month and has turned off a broader customer group than just those who characterize themselves as conservatives. That's the first time I've seen it admitted. And I watch this, every day. I study this for the videos. And because I'm absolutely fascinated in seeing this major consumer brand get destroyed for going woke. It's the first one I've seen get damaged at this level. And I've never seen it characterized outside of conservatives. But yes, it's also the LGBT community are annoyed at them, but they really mean nobody wants to be seen drinking Bud Light, really. At a time of profound cultural and political division in the United States, light beer drinkers simply don't want to be drawn into another debate about values, said Beer Business Daily editor and publisher Harry Schumacher. Most people don't care about this issue and don't want to get roped into a conversation, Schumacher said. Therefore, they're not going to buy the beer. Given the wide array of choices available to beer drinkers, it's easy to switch brands, he said. Dylan Mulvaney debuted their partnership with Bud Light the weekend of the NCAA basketball men's and women's national championship in early April. They shared a sponsor post on their Instagram account to their 1.2 million followers promoting Bud Light's March Madness contest with the hashtag Bud Light Partner. The social media backlash from conservatives was swift. Bud Light's response was to ignore the criticism, saying Mulvaney was simply one of hundreds of influencers it worked with. Anheuser-Busch InBev previously partnered with the LGBT community and has also worked with Mulvaney on another campaign, Schumacher said. The hit to Bud Light, he said, is simply a matter of wrong place and wrong time. Quote, it just seems like an unlucky draw, he said. The timing and the zeitgeist and a divided environment all combined to create this unbelievable boycott that nobody could have anticipated. In a note to clients published Tuesday, JP Morgan analysts said that even if the decline in Bud Light sales stabilize, we believe there's a subset of American consumers who will not drink Bud Light for the foreseeable future. Quote, nobody imagined it would go on this long, Schumacher said. He continued, it seems random. It struck a nerve. I've never seen anything compared to it in all the consumer packaged goods industry. It's a real shock. I've been saying that for weeks. It's good to see him say the same thing. This is not like any other backlash that any of us have ever seen. And this isn't just about Bud Light. This is about all of this social justice push in media, in the news, in every public forum, and in products. It's not been this bad before. Now it's getting out of control. And another interesting part of this also is from MarketWatch, Bud Light anti-trans backlash has some weighing potential chilling effect on corporate LGBTQ support. And I've been covering this as well. Companies are starting to notice what happened to Bud Light, and they don't even know how bad it is yet. It is profoundly bad. There are outlets still saying, well, it looks like it's leveling off. It's not that bad. It's horrendous what's happened to the Bud Light brand and the Anheuser-Busch business. Losing $16 billion in stock value for a company like Anheuser-Busch is no joke. So companies are noticing this, and they're starting to realize, hey, we can't do this the way we could just do it with impunity and say, okay, if we lose little sales, who cares? Everybody's a bigot. We're going to just do whatever we want to do anyway. They're not doing that anymore. They really are starting to get worried, particularly the executives themselves, because of course they care about their own careers. Alyssa Heinerscheid, who used to be in charge of the Bud Light marketing brand, is no longer at the company. She's lost her career most likely because, look, what are you going to do? Put on your resume that you were in charge of Bud Light and that cost the company billions of dollars? Not going to work so well. Now, we heard from JP Morgan today and their sophisticated financial analysts was that they expect earnings in the United States to drop 26% this year for Anheuser-Busch. They say that the stock price right now is expecting a 45% drop in profits. If they're right, then the stock could potentially go up. If they're wrong and the market is right, then they're still trying to push a stock that looks like it's falling apart. I don't trust this company. I don't think this company knows what they're doing. I don't think they know who their customers are. They certainly haven't made things right with their customers. Giving their beer away free is not going to make it. You let me know what you think in the comments below. I don't think people want to be seen drinking from that blue can. I think that's their problem. They can go ahead and change the color of the can. If it says Bud Light on it, people want absolutely nothing to do with it. Let me know what you think of all this in the comments below. Do you think giving away free beer on Memorial Day is going to be enough to save Bud Light or any of the other Anheuser-Busch brands? Or do you think they've really ruined the brands and saying they're sorry, giving beer away for free is not going to be enough? Also, did you realize they've lost $16 billion worth of share value since March 31st, right before when they did the promotion with Mulvaney? And were you aware that they were at a stock price value of less than $90 billion within the last 12 months? Because an upset in their business, there's really no excuse for why their stock isn't down to where it was at its lowest levels within the last 12 months. I don't see how that could possibly turn this around. If they're giving beer away for free and people still don't want it and it's expiring, they seem to have a fundamental problem. Let me know what you think of all this in the comments below. Always love to see your comments. Please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. Give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again soon with another video. And if I don't see you, I will miss you.